Welcome in, everyone. Your Vegas Nation crew here. Cassie, Soto, and Vinny Bonsignore here with the latest regarding the Raiders coaching search. Vinny, there have been a lot of names thrown out there to fill this Raiders head coaching position as soon as the season ended for the Raiders, really. And the latest name to pop up is that of Buccaneers defensive coordinator Todd Bowles. What do we know about the Raiders' interest in Bowles?
Well, he's somebody that, unfortunately things didn't work out with him for the New York Jets. A lot of that was just inconsistent quarterback play and just quarterback flux. He did go 10-6 his first year with the Jets and his 4 years as the head, or 5 years as the head coach. But it was a steady fall from that point, mostly due to the fact that they didn't have a quarterback during his time there. But from a defensive standpoint, he's gotten it done at various stops, including Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When you think about the Buccaneers winning the Super Bowl last year, yeah, everyone wants to talk about Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski and the offense, but it was really the defense that got the job done. When you talk about what they did going into Green Bay to beat the Packers in the NFC Championship game, and the way they handled Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense in the Super Bowl was, just a thing of beauty. Nobody does that to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, granted, the Chiefs were down a couple of tackles and their offensive line was in flux. That didn't help, but certainly Todd Bowles and the defensive performance that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers put out last year and this year as well definitely has caught the eye of the NFL and decision makers.
Well, let's move on to another name now, and that's Patriots inside linebacker coach Jerod Mayo. He supposedly interviewed for the Raiders head coaching position today on Tuesday. Again, what's the interest level there for the Raiders, and could Mayo be a good fit here in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I think there's definitely interest, and I've done some poking around on Mayo, and consistently what I'm hearing is just a rock star in the making, just tremendous leadership. He's going to be a head coach eventually. The question is it just a little bit too soon for him? He's been coaching only 3 years. He hasn't been a coordinator with the Patriots. He's gotten some of that responsibility this year, sharing it with Bill Belichick's son. But is the time right for him to make that leap to a head coaching job? It might be the better route for him is becoming a coordinator and kind of coming up that ladder. But there's no doubt that he has opened up a lot of eyes and is really thought of pretty highly in the NFL and coaching circles as a star on the rise.
Well, how about 49ers defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans? He's expected to interview with the Raiders after the Niners play the Rams in the NFC Championship game on Sunday, Vinny.
Yeah, all you got to do is look at what the 49ers did going into Dallas and shutting down the Cowboys, and then what they did against the Green Bay Packers. And that's just a small sample size of 2 games. Remember, he took over for Robert Saleh when he went to the Jets to become the head coach. That was a great 49ers defense, but it's been just a seamless transition to DeMeco Ryans and the job that he's done. And again, another coach that a lot of people have their eyes on in terms of being a head coach eventually, and probably sooner rather than later. And I know that the Raiders are interested. They're not going to interview any of these candidates without any genuine interest. The thing about the Raiders, what they're doing right now is they're going to go. It's a thorough process. It's a diligent and meticulous process, and they're going to let that process kind of guide them to a decision. It might take them back to Rich Bisaccia. It might take them to whoever they had in mind at the original and outset of this process, but one way, or it might be take them in a different direction. I think that's the key to when you go through a process like this, is to be open and to allow that process to really guide you to a decision.
Well, I probably know the answer to this one, Vinny, but just for fun, and just for the sake of stirring the pot, what are the chances that Sean Payton could end up in Las Vegas now that he has stepped down as the head coach of the Saints? I know the Raiders want to make a splash, Vinny, with this next hire. That would be a cannonball for the Raiders.
It would, and it would be like one of the fountains at the Bellagio, just blowing up. I don't get the sense that he wants to coach this year. I truly believe that he wants to take a little bit of a step back and reassess things. I'm sure next up for him is probably a job in the media, to give that a shot to see if that's where he wants to take his life, or maybe he just wants to take a year off and reassess things and then catch that fire again and get right back into coaching. We've seen that happen before as well. But there were a couple of things that he said at his press conference, one of which he alluded to the fact that he's never been to a tailgate. And, he would drive up to games in New Orleans, and he's like, wow, looking at the people in the tailgate, wow, they're having more fun than I am right now. That tells you that he was probably kind of getting to that point where maybe it's time to take a little bit of a step back. But if I'm the Raiders or anybody with a job opening right now, I'm for sure calling and at least finding out, is there any kind of an interest? What would it take? Remember, if the Raiders or any team was to make an immediate pursuit of Sean Payton, there will be some compensation involved. He's signed a contract that's through the 2024 season, so he's got 3 more years left on the contract. The Saints aren't going to just let him go anywhere without getting paid something, whether it's a trade or draft pick, some sort of compensation. So that's something that any team is going to have to keep in mind, but also just the fact that Sean Payton might just need a break right now.
Well, I have been to a tailgate at those Saints games, Vinny, and I can say they are just a little bit of fun. Just a little bit.
Well, maybe the next one that you guys have, or maybe your family, maybe if Sean's in town, you invite him over.
Well, thank you so much, Vinny. As always, really appreciate it. As the coaching carousel continues to spin, we'll have all of the latest updates for you at vegasnation.com. He's Vinny Bonsignore. I'm Cassie Soto. We'll see you soon.